works definitely differently. Not just this film, but also Piano Teacher, you know, like other films that have a very dark underlying tone and mystery, you know, and also he does that thing as well where he doesn't give away too much and tries to leave it in the audience's mind.
How'd you come to find your two lead actors?
Well, we had a really good casting director, Sig Miguel in New York, who found us a lot of our cast, but for the lead, I was a big fan of Oz. I watch a lot of HBO stuff. There's also many Oz fans here. In Oz, Lee's character, he was like the kind of middle-class attorney who entered the prison. He saw the prison through his eyes, and then he kind of ended up becoming one of the sort of craziest people in the prison, you know, and he always played that arc very well, so I knew that he had very good range, so he was one of the guys on our list that we went to. We were really lucky to get him. Thank you.
Anybody down here?
Why the name Silver Tongues?
Say it again.
Silver tongues is a phrase that I think is more common in the UK than here, but there's a Chris Christopherson song called the Silver Tongue Devil. It's just an old-fashioned phrase that means somebody who can smooth talk and manipulate somebody. If you have a silver tongue, you're able to, you know, basically manipulate people very well.
It's an old folks term.
It is used a lot more in the UK.
That's an old term. Yes.
I'd like to know what made you make a movie like that? Is it to teach something to an audience? Or is that what do you call that, life? Or a twisted mind?
I'm definitely not trying to teach anybody anything. That was not part of the plan. I really just wanted to try and make something original that had characters in it that I felt you hadn't seen before. I wanted to deal with the structure and story in an original way, and this was kind of the best way to do it, I felt.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Back in the corner. Yes. You. Yeah.
What was interesting to me is that I was rooting for the characters in the beginning of the film. It felt like they were trying to challenge people in their relationships, in their views towards a religion or a god, and by challenging it, exposing it, and making it stronger, that faith. And then towards the end of the film, it became kind of like we're just messing with people's minds, and this is what we can get away with. And it became like this game that they played.
Yeah.
So I was with the film in the beginning, and I just kind of lost interest because I felt like I was being with as a viewer.
Sure. I mean, I think for me it would be slightly facetious to try and make it that they're trying to teach people something by fucking with them. You know, I'm not sure how far they could go with that. Do you know what I mean? Like in the first and the second act, I'm doing that to try and make the audience think, why are they doing this? Like when they start raising money in the church, I want people to think, well, either they're going to steal that money themselves or they're going to give it to the church. And when they leave, you know, the congregation and the reverend are stronger. But I'm kind of like side-swiping you. I'm just trying to make you think it's going to be one way and then go the other way. But I appreciate what you're saying. Like it's just whatever you respond to.
I mean, you won't recut it now?
No,
Someone else? Yes.
One of the things I really enjoyed about it, you seemed to really make sure the audience was kind of a part of the movie. There was continually mind games going on with the characters and all the external characters in the movie, but there's still mind games going on with those of us watching continually. So it's like this all-encompassing, really fucking psychology of why you're watching this entire movie. Another thing I really thought was really interesting was that each little scene kind of left a teaser, so you had to keep watching. For me over here, I was sitting and we were kind of discussing it as well. We were gripped, like we had to continually see what was going on because each sequence was something that happened and we could understand it by it previously happening in the film, but also led a little bit more so that you would want to continue that draw, want to continue to see what the ultimate result was. It's totally different than what I was thinking of it initially. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks, I appreciate that.
How many of you were rooting for the cop? I remember thinking, when she first started and she said, "You're a bad actor," I was going, "Yeah, get it. Next question. Yes.
What kind of budget did you have for this?
I'm not allowed to say that. The producer will fly down here and kick me right in the nuts. But to give you an idea, our lead actors were the highest paid people in the film, and they were on about $100 a day. When he's driving the car and he's doing stunt driving, I'm the stunt driver. We were what SAG calls ultra low budget. So very, very fucking low.
Another one? Oh, over here, yes.
What did you conceive of their backstory to be? If that's, when you stepped and you made it, what do you conceive of them doing before?
So the story is, what do I conceive the backstory of the couple being? The problem is that I can't really answer that because obviously in the film we took great pains to give you just as much information as we want you to have. So if I kind of go on the road with the film and then explain the backstory afterwards, it's going to defeat the purpose. But maybe later on at the bar, get you drunk and I'll tell you about the film. Yep.
How long from inception of the idea to editing?
Wow. I made a short film version of this in Scotland, and the intention was to get funding, excuse me, and shoot the whole thing in Scotland. I got funding to do another short, went on to that, and then eventually I moved to New York. So by the time it came round to it, a few years had passed. I think I finished the short in 2007, but it had always been written as a feature script. The short was basically just the old folks home sequence, so I'd say on total about 4 years, 5 years. So quite a while, but I was working on other stuff throughout all that period, until we actually went into production. So a long time.
So when this started, is this what you had in mind, or how much evolution did this go through? Did you have a different vision in the beginning, or did it kind of just?
No, it's actually pretty much, there were changes to the script throughout, and when we rehearsed it with the actors, we changed some of the dialogue to make them feel comfortable, we talked about the characters, but it's pretty much tonally, in terms of structure and everything, the way it was when I wrote it years ago, which is kind of surprising for me and for everyone else. When people watched, we had a casting crew screen recently, and people did say, it's weird, it's pretty much just the script. So we're lucky as far as that went.
Could you talk a little about the score and how it came to be? It's fantastic.
Thank you. Sorry. And the question was, if I could talk about the score and how that came to be. Ennis Rothoff wrote the score. He's a Berlin-based composer that I met at the Berlin Alley Festival. We just spent a lot of time talking about it and going over it and changing everything. I knew that I wanted it to be quite minimal, string-based, and I worked him very, very hard. We had quite a lot of arguments, but he and I worked great together. I would love to work with him again. He's just a very, very good composer, very hardworking, and we changed it a lot and just kept working until we were happy. Yeah.
It's a great collaboration.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks.
Okay, one more out there? Yes.
How did you choose the color palette?
Sorry, the question is how did I choose the colour palette? That was more of a DP than me, to be perfectly honest. We discussed, in the first act, there's a lot of reds, and we were trying to think thematically with, love and affairs and stuff like that, what colours would suit that. We were very low budget, so I'm not going to say that it was this huge overarching plan. Sometimes we had to kind of go with what we had. But generally we tried to keep the colour palette different each and sort of become a bit more bleached and a bit more stylized as we went along, just to kind of suck you into it more towards the end. If that answers your question.
Simon, terrific movie. Thank you. Remember all the things I told you to go watch. Tomorrow night is Receive Without at 9:30 at the Regal, Midnight Sun, 11:59 at the AZ. Local guy did that one of the Blair Witch guys, actually. And then Edward J. Olmos on Friday here. Let me see.